Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another Manly Monday. We made it back. And what a Monday it's been. I had some problems with internet this morning, but things are going well now. Things are set. I'm here for another Manly Monday, and I'm here to continue our mini-series. As you might have seen, I've been posting my shorts, YouTube shorts, about my exercises, getting going good there, getting stronger, getting healthier. I was looking at doing the Batumi Boxing Club and getting in there to get strong and fit there too, but right now it's closed. So I think they're doing renovations or something, so I'll have to look into that more later. But right now it's good. Things are going well. Life's going well. My weekend was great. I hope all you had a wonderful weekend. And we're back here to continue the mini-series. But why we should become men. And in today's video, we're going to look at the history of men, how they've acted throughout history, how they've done things, what kind of roles we had and things like that. So yeah, it's good. It's good. And the way men have acted throughout history is very different than how they act in modern times. Men from the beginning of recorded history have been leaders, been the protectors, the ones responsible for the family. During the days when we were grunting and picking our noses, men were still the ones to go out and hunt for the family and hit things with the clubs and stuff like that, and hit other men and all that stuff. We men were out there risking our lives. It was a job to go out there and risk our lives and provide food and protection for the women and children of our families and of our communities. So, and as we go through time, we notice the trend continues throughout our society, even becoming more demanding for men. Men in ancient stories were revered for being heroes, for being brave. And in one of the oldest creation myths, we can see that start. Involves twin brothers, Manu, or meaning man, and Yimu, meaning twin, as the progenitors of the world and of humankind. And also there was a third there that is named Trito, meaning literally the third, Trito, who ensured continuity of the original sacrifice. In the creation myth, the first man, Manu, and his giant twin Yimu are crossing the cosmos accompanied by the primordial cow. To create the world, Manu sacrificed his brother, his twin brother, and with the help of the heavenly deities, Dios Paterus, Sky Father, the storm god Perquinos, and the divine twins, he forged both the natural elements and the human beings from his remains. Manu thus becomes the first priest after initiating such sacrifices. As the primordial condition first priest after initiating sacrifice as the primordial condition of the world order. And his deceased brother Yimu, the one that he sacrificed, becomes the first king as social classes emerge from his anatomy. Priesthood from his head, the warrior class from his breast and from his arms. Mine aren't very defined, but still arms. And the commoners from his sexual organs and his legs. And to the third man, Trito, the celestial gods then offered cattle as a divine gift. Side note, this is why in the old Canaanite religions and the battles in the Bible, you always see the locals worshipping the bull. And also why Indians revere the cow, because it all stems from the Proto-Indo-European myths, and the cow being this holy thing, divine gift from the gods. They offered the cattle as a divine gift, but it was stolen by a three-headed serpent named Nikhui, which means serpent, and also it's a European root word for negation. Trito first suffered, though, from the serpent. He lost the battle, he suffered, he could not win. But through struggle and perseverance, and with the help of an intoxicating drink, which is fortified by the Sky Father, Deus Paterus, he eventually gives the serpent a licking. Yeah, kills him, gets him, and retrieves the cattle for the first humans, for the kingdom, and thus becoming the first warrior. He also brought it back to Manus, the first priest, to be properly sacrificed. Through this heroic action, through the bravery and the heroic action, the cycle of mutual giving between gods and mortals would continue. Right? So that need for that heroicism, bravery is needed in society to keep things moving properly. Yimo, the first king, was sacrificed to create the world. Therefore, all kings that followed him must be ready to sacrifice themselves for the realm and protect the people, and to bring prosperity and safety to the kingdom. So our leaders don't just command, not like you see today with these wimps like Biden, Justin Trudeau, and all these wimps that say, oh, you go do this. No, the kings, the true leaders of society, have to be ready to give everything to protect that society. Just like Yimo was sacrificed to build the world, the kings must be ready to be sacrificed to uphold the world, right? And not just like killed on a pedestal or hung, no, not sacrificed like that, like sacrifice themselves in defense of the realm, right? And the heroes, Trito and the other heroes, must be brave and strong, ready to fight for the king to defend the lands, must fight next to the king. King should be in the front leading the way, and the heroes there by his side to defend the lands from all forms of evil. All forms of evil. This also increased the status of the men of the heroes, right? It gives them the class system. That's where we see classes emerge, right? The brave men, the heroes, the true men of society became a step above the rest. The social class system emerged, right? Commoners were below them. They're weak, as should be. If you're not willing to go out there and risk your life for your family, for your country, for your realm, for your lords, for your gods, if you're not willing to do that, what are you as a man? Right? You have to be ready to do it. Right? Wherever your family is, you have to protect them. You don't run away. Right? And so that brings you up to a higher status of man, right? Which we see today, right? Alpha male, beta male. Right? Beta males would rather have the woman die instead of risking their lives. So, they're lower status of man. As we move throughout history, though, we see this trend continue. Stories of Achilles, Hercules, the historical conquerings of Alexander the Great, the men in the Bible like David, King Saul, David, things like that, Joshua, Moses, the Viking men of Norse faith, Gunther, Ragnarok, and the heroes of Germanic faith. You even have the story of Sir Lancelot, right, where he was toned a demon on the battlefield and a dove with the ladies, right? So, but there's been a very particular way men have acted throughout history, and it has been true up until the 1960s. Second wave feminism started. Horrible time for men. Poisoned all the young men. Poisoned them. Poisoned their mindset, poisoned their psyche, poisoned all of it. Created this disastrous fallout that we're seeing today. Men were taught to feel, it's okay, you'll be fine. To show emotions, to cry. It's okay to cry. Little boys were not taught to hit each other on the playground. Don't do that, Billy, that's wrong. Who tells them that? Women, right? But yeah, just on that do not cry thing, it's amazing. Because even if you're Christian, and you're a Christian man, you do not cry, you do not show emotions. Because you're supposed to be following Jesus, And Jesus did not cry in front of others. When Jesus went to cry, he went to solidarity with his Father, God. He confided in God, his Father, and only his Father. But around men and others, he was strong. Right? So, that's another thing to think of. Christian men out there, stop being wimps. Nowhere in the Bible does it say to be a wimp, to be a pushover. But yeah, women teachers start saying, you can't hit each other on the playground. Men don't understand their standings. They don't understand that growth of, boys don't understand that growth of status, the hierarchy. They don't know where they stand, right? So, yeah, they're told to cry. They pretty much were taught to become girls, become little girls. Men are taught to be girls. Girls are taught to be men nowadays. You know, I heard a good quote for somebody. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull up this. Just make sure I get it right. Todd Durkin. Moms turn boys into babies, and dads turn boys into men. Right? That's a good quote. That's what second wave feminism did. Turn boys into babies. So yeah, we've lost this manliness, and nowadays there are very few men that are remaining. Right? Most of the boys walking on Earth right now are playing video games in their mom's basement, just working enough to cover their basic needs, never striving to become better, to become creators, to become rulers, to become kings, to become heroes. They're okay with just doing their normal thing, having fun, just making enough to make their money, and then going and, you know, playing their video games or something like that. I don't know. Right? There's no search for adventure to face grueling challenges of life. They no longer take control and lead society, lead their families. Right? Too many men are scared to say what's happening. Right? And we see the crumbling of society happening in the world today. It's crumbling a lot faster in Western societies, right? Wokeism, third wave feminism, transgenderism, all these things are happening, and it's happening crazy fast. We're seeing societies fall apart, tribalism start to emerge, hate, not unity, horrible things, right? And yeah, like I said, men are scared. They're weak. They don't say what they think because they're going to call them misogynist, or they're going to lose their woman, right? They don't want to tell their woman what's what because they're scared that it's going to, it's going to have problems, repercussions, right? The woman's going to leave them and they're not going to find another. You know, they want that sexual interaction with a woman, and they're scared that if they mess it up, they're not going to get it. So it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. We're watching the largest demasculinization of man we've seen ever in history, and it's on such a large global scale too. But it's not the first time it's happened in history. This isn't the first time it's happened in history. You know, there've been matriarchal societies that have popped up and then wiped out by men, right? There are a few that still exist today, but they're only there. I will admit there are some. I'm not gonna lie, there are some, but they're only there because we as modern society allow them to be there. Right? We protect them. The larger societies run by men protect these matriarchal societies. If they were out there in fair competition, they'd be wiped off the face of Earth. And also they're being protected by these beta cucks that think that, oh, I can get a little piece of that queen. I want a piece of that queen. Right? And they think by being a cuck, being a little beta male cuck, they'll get that. But when you see these societies go up against societies run by men, they never can compete. They're usually wiped off the face of the earth, right? So, yeah. This is just because we're made differently, right? Men are stronger, they're more rational, they think more clear, they're willing to do greater sacrifices for victory. So, and it's just how we're made. But I do hear people all the time use Iroquois as an example of matriarchy that survived to modern day because these clan mothers called the shots. However, when you look who upheld the society, it was built by men. They built the houses, the palisades, they fished, they hunted, they engaged in the military activities, while women were producing the crops, gathering wild berries, and prepared clothing and kept the house cooked and cleaned at home. That's what the women did. Not really matriarchal. You just had a few leaders. But again, to go back up to the original myth, the king has to be there in the front, willing to sacrifice for his society, right? And you see that even in the original creation myth of the Indo-Europeans, and it's also in the Bible. Jesus, the leader, the King of Kings, sacrificed himself for all of us. So it's in the Bible as well. That's what a king has to do. But look at where these clan mothers sat. They sat at home behind all these men, smoking their pipes and telling men what to do, while the men went out there and tried to achieve personal glory on the battlefield. Right? None of these clan mothers were out there in the front lines leading, so they weren't really a matriarchal society. Right? They're more just like the Queen of England. Right? She was a woman that led this kingdom, but it wasn't a matriarchy, it was a patriarchy. Right? Because when she has a child, it wasn't her bloodline that continues, it's the father's bloodline. So at least I think how that works. If it doesn't work that way, then forgive me for being wrong. I have not looked into that as much. I'll have to do some more research. But society itself was still patriarchy, right? Even if the queen's bloodline was from the queen, society was still patriarchy. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. When you look at religion's very interesting on their roles of men. All religions have men acting in a certain way, and whether it's the men themselves or the male figure, they all have men acting in a certain way, kind of the very similar ways. Right? They were the leaders of faith and in daily life, and they kept their household in order and on the right path. Right? In Hindu, wives sat on the left side of their husbands after marriage, accompanying them on the left. Right? They were with them, but they weren't leading the men. They weren't sitting in front. The men weren't sitting on the left of the wives. Wives sat on the left of their husbands. I know Hindu is a little bit different. They believe in equality, which should be, but men were still the leaders of the household. In the Greek religion, ancient Greece, right, Hellenistic religion, the three main gods were males, right? They had Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, male, right? And they had domain over all of the gods, and Zeus, Deus Paterus, Sky Father, had ultimate domain over everybody, right? In ancient Indo-European, the Sky Father was the heavenly host. Again, male. In Islam, men are the rulers of the household. Islam is kind of similar to Christianity, a little bit different in core of beliefs and things like that, but it's an Abrahamic religion. And so, same with Christianity, men are the leaders of the household, right? They bring their families to faith, they bring their families to God. As it says, men love your wives, and as Christ loved the church, and women honor your husband. Women don't love husband, honor your husbands. So that's a very particular thing, like when you look at it in history, men love your wives as Christ loved the church. What did Christ do in some churches? He upturned tables. He would call blasphemy on these priests. He would call things as they were. He wasn't always friendly. He wasn't always nice. But he did it out of love because he wanted the correct pathway, right? Just like when you're with your child. If you have your child and you tell them, no, don't eat that candy, or no, don't kick the cat, no, right? Or if you punish them for doing something wrong, it's not because you hate them, you love them. You love them a lot. That's why you're doing it, because you want them to be the best they can be. That's what men have to do with their wives. They have to love them. And yes, that does mean the kisses, the cuddles, the hugs, the roses, all that stuff. Yes, that is important. But you also have to tell your wife, no, that is wrong. Don't do that. No, stop. You have to you control her, right? Just like Jesus controlled the church, just like you controlled your child. It's not control, I should say, authority. Like how Jesus had authority over the church, and you have authority over a child. You have to do with your woman. That's what love is, to bring her to the best she can possibly be in the foundations of the family. You have to do that. And then, woman, honor your husbands, right? Honor your husbands means to bring honor to the family, to bring the household name honor, right? So you don't be a slut beforehand, before you get married. That doesn't bring honor, that brings shame. So be virgin, be pure. Don't cheat, don't sleep around, don't engage with other men, don't post slutty pictures online. That's not bringing honor to your husband. That's bringing shame and disgust and dishonor to the household, right? When people are coming aboard, cooking clean, make sure the house is clean, make sure the food is cooked. That brings honor to the household, right? And this is Christianity. It's not laid out. This is what Jesus spoke, right? Like, this is the thing, is modern day Christian women, they think, oh no, that's not what it means. Of course that's what it means. Why else would Jesus put it that way? Why would it say honor, not women love your husbands, men love your wives? No, it's honor for a reason. Very specific reason, right? And it's not because women are second class. No, women are great. Women are lovely. I think women are awesome. They're adored. They should be adored. They should be cared for, protected. They're precious. But we're different, and we have different roles for a reason. And it has been like that throughout all of society until 1960s second wave feminism. Since then, it's all kind of collapsed and fallen apart. We're seeing horrid things, right? Highest record number of divorces, lowest rates of marriage, lowest rates of childbirth, highest rates of suicide and depressions. All because of what? I think it does stem from many root causes, and one of them is we're not following biology, we're not following traditional gender roles, we're not following our religions, our traditions. That's causing problems, because everything we have is built in a specific order for a specific way. So, but yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Then thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. A journey where we improve ourselves every day, where we learn how to act properly. I'm learning these things too, just like you. I'm not perfect, and I still have a long way to go, but that's what this channel is about. It's a lifelong journey of improving ourselves every day, to become better every day, to become better humans, better men, better women, and become better, become stronger. And that's what this channel is about. That's why I'm here, and I thank you for being on this journey with me. It's a lifelong journey, and I hope you each take your own journeys lifelong and achieve the glory and the power that awaits you for doing it. And if you like this video and you like this little mini series, can you hit that thing that goes up like this? Ding ding. Subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, thanks.